the echo beyond the stars. In the year 2347, humanity's reach extended far beyond Earth. But with exploration came discovery, and some discoveries were never meant to be found. The EOS research station orbited a dying star at the edge of the galaxy. Its purpose? To study the star's unique energy emissions. But when all communication suddenly ceased, a retrieval team was sent to investigate. The team, composed of scientists, engineers, and soldiers, approached the station with a mix of curiosity and unease. As the crew's spaceship docked at the station, an eerie silence greeted them. The once bustling hub was now dark and lifeless, its corridors lit only by the flickering remnants of emergency lights. The airlock hissed open, and the team stepped inside, weapons drawn. Their flashlights illuminated walls streaked with strange scorch marks, as though some intense energy had surged through the station. "This place gives me the creeps," muttered Sergeant Cole, gripping his rifle tightly. Beside him, Dr. Elena Vargas adjusted her scanner, her expression grim. "The energy readings are off the charts," she said. "It's like the entire station is humming." In the control room, the monitors flashed static, and the air seemed to vibrate with an unnatural frequency. The team accessed the station's logs, hoping to find answers. Instead, they found a fragmented recording. A disheveled scientist appeared on the screen, his eyes wide with terror. Behind him, faint shadows shifted, and distant screams could be heard. "If you're seeing this, leave. Do not attempt to repair the station. Do not." The recording cut off abruptly, replaced by a deafening roar that reverberated through the station. The crew froze, their eyes scanning the darkened corners of the room. Lieutenant Harper, the team leader, tightened her grip on her weapon. "Everyone stay close," she ordered. "Whatever happened here, it's not over." As they searched for survivors, the tension mounted. Strange sounds echoed through the hall's scraping metal, distant footsteps, and whispers in an unrecognizable language. They passed through the sleeping quarters, where personal belongings were strewn about, as if the crew had left in a hurry. In one room, a child's drawing lay on the floor, depicting a crude but unsettling figure surrounded by jagged shapes. "Looks like they saw something," whispered Private Jensen, picking up the drawing. "Something they shouldn't have." In the medbay, the team found something far worse than bodies. Embedded in the wall was a pulsing device, alien in design, emanating the same energy signature as the star. The walls around it were warped, as if the metal itself had melted and reformed. Dr. Vargas knelt beside it, her scanner beeping wildly. "This wasn't here before," she murmured, her voice trembling. "It's alive." Before they could analyze further, the lights flickered, and a low growl echoed through the station. A humanoid figure emerged from the shadows, its form flickering like static, as if it were made of pure energy. Its voice was a distorted amalgamation of screams and whispers. "You should not have come," it hissed. Panic erupted. The crew fled, but the entity pursued them relentlessly. It moved through walls, appearing and disappearing like a ghost. Along the way, they discovered the remains of the station's original crew, their bodies grotesquely fused with the walls, as if consumed by the station itself. One room contained a logbook, its pages filled with scrawled warnings and nonsensical equations. "This isn't death," whispered Jensen, flipping through the log. "It's something worse." The team regrouped in the engineering bay, where they tried to piece together what had happened. Dr. Vargas, her hands shaking, explained her theory. "The star's energy. It's not natural. It's a gateway. That thing, it's either guarding it or trapped by it. If we destroy the device, we might sever the connection. Or unleash it completely," Harper said grimly. "Either way, we can't leave it like this." In a desperate battle, the crew fought their way to the device. The entity grew more unstable, its attacks more frenzied. It lashed out with tendrils of energy, forcing the team to scatter. One of the crew members, Corporal Dax, sacrificed himself to buy time, throwing himself in front of the entity with a grenade in hand. "Tell them what happened here," he said, his voice steady despite the chaos. "Promise me." The explosion temporarily disrupted the entity, giving the survivors the precious seconds they needed. Dr. Vargas worked frantically to disable the device, her fingers flying across the controls. Outside, the star began to collapse, its light flooding the station. "Hurry!" Harper shouted as the walls began to shake. The entity let out a deafening scream, its form twisting and contorting as the device was destroyed. The station disintegrated as the star collapsed into a black hole, consuming everything in its path. The survivors barely escaped, their ship drifting away as the void swallowed the remnants of EOS Station. In the silence that followed, the crew stared at the dying light of the black hole, their faces etched with a mix of relief and horror. The EOS Station was never rebuilt. Official records claimed it was lost to a catastrophic star collapse. But the survivors knew the truth. They carried the burden of that knowledge, haunted by the memories of what they had seen and the warnings left behind. Some doors are better left unopened. What lies beyond the stars? Some questions should remain unanswered,